despierta en un manicomio situado en el sótano del Instituto Riverside. Allí conoce a la doctora Colden, una amiga de Bradley, que lo ayuda a escapar mientras deambula por los pasillos de las instalaciones dirigidos por el Dr. Fuller. Pierce logra hablar con un tal Francis Sanders. Antes de morir ante los ojos del detective, acusa a Sarah Hawkins de ser la causa de su tormento. Pierce consigue salir del edificio maldito junto con Bradley y Colden. Los compañeros de desventuras deciden utilizar la mansión de los Hawkins como escondite. Para YouTube, los de YouTube, cuando veáis esto, es que es stream del día siguiente.
Who goes there?
¡Otro gato! No sé cómo está de voz, ¿eh?
That nightmare again. I need a drink.
No vas a beber. A ver.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
Hola. Seguro que no hay nada, no lo creo.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Muy bajito.
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Les oigo las voces súper bajitos. No, nada de beber. Bradley, amigo.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
A ver.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
Sanders started screaming and convulsing.
Convulsing? That doesn't fit with his history.
Then his body got all crooked.
What in God's name? And you were alone with him?
He accused Sarah Hawkins of being the culprit.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
He's right. We can't ignore the truth.
But it could drive her mad.
Better madness than ignorance. Very well. I'll go to see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Vale, aquí no me deja hacer nada más ya, ¿no? ¿No? No. Vale. Pierce, Cullen y Bradley deciden unir sus fuerzas para resolver el caso Sarah Hawkins. Encuentran un rastro nuevo que seguir, el de Francis Sanders, un coleccionista de arte y amigo del artista que murió delante de Pierce. El detective va a su casa con la intención de hablar con la Biblia acerca del vagabundo que mencionó el hombre antes de morir. La vamos a liar. De verdad, ahora se lía gorda. Oh, dime que vale. Ahora se viene. La que se viene ahora es Mónica. Hello?
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
That's it.
However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
Rebecca.
You know each other.
We met briefly, but he made a strong impression on me. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday. I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs. Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller, he's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you, you'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and her sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's eye. He bought many of her works over the last 5 years. They adorn his macabre gallery.
Un segundo.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it, I would urge you to make the most of your visit. Because I count on ridding myself of that thing as soon as I can.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Vale, primero voy a ver si tengo... Tengo 6. ¿Me subo psicología o elocuencia? Vale. Está guardado, ¿no?
Did she really care for him after all?
Estimada señora, por la presente acuso el recibo de la carta en la que nos exige el cuerpo de su fallecido marido. Siento informarle de que no puedo dar cumplimiento a su petición. En el momento de su ingreso firmó usted un documento de descargo donde me otorga permiso para disponer de él. Le transmito mis máximas condolencias.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Algo más. Ah, espérate. Antes de hacer una reconstrucción.
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he
La daga.
seeking to acquire it?
Arte y misticismo, objetos olvidados. Es una colección escrita por Francis Sanders en la que cataloga y clasifica objetos de todas las épocas y procedencias vinculados con las prácticas místicas u ocultistas. está abierto con la página de una daga con un símbolo que no me resulta desconocido. Vale, ahora sí.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? A house of artists. He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
Allá va lo que me queda de cordura. Adiós al final que buscaba.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
No. ¿Ves? Lo que dice el otro, es lo que dice ella, cabezón. Medicina.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
A ver, ¿dónde está el fonógrafo?
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
I could use one of those. A strange Amerindian pendant. An old diary.
O sea, no estoy encontrando ni un...
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Querido Francis, te suplico que renuncies a la idea de poseer este maldito cuadro. Si en algo valoras nuestra amistad, líbrame del peso de esa culpa. Me niego a ser la responsable de tu caída. Te lo suplico, mi querido amigo. Olvídate del vagabundo. Tu amiga Sarah Hawkins. Pues no haberlo pintado. A ver, no haberlo pintado, haberlo quemado. Hija mía, sé que de verdad. No, vamos a leerlo. No, porque a ver cómo tengo la cordura. conmocionado. Y para lo que le viene. Que no lo leas. ¿Tú qué?
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others.
Hija
What have
mía.
you come looking for in this gallery?
I have a well-off client in Boston who heard about the death of Francis Sanders and wanted me to size up his estate before making an offer to his widow.
Perfect, Detective. The pretext? The body language? I would have bought it if it was the first time I'd seen your face. You're a good talker, Pierce. Your story will do for the moment.
I found this drawing of a dagger. Did you come across anything like it in your reading?
Perhaps. I saw several daggers in the ledgers. I could always check. What I didn't find, however, was the slightest reason why I should help you, Detective.
I don't need your services. I can manage all on my own, thanks.
Do it then.
En fin. Nos vamos a la mierda, ¿eh? Vale.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery. Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Es esta, ¿no? Sí, es esta. Privado del talento de Sarah, Sanders dibujó la daga. Vale, ese es. A ver. Fondo. Con nada de ganas, de verdad. Se supone que es lo mejor del juego. No soy un cipote, ¿no? Ya veréis, hijo mío. Vale.
What the hell was that?
Ay, amigo.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
No lo veo, ¿eh? Ya no lo veo. Pírate, amigo. Pírate. 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 Dale, tú adelante. A la primera. Toma poquito.
What's the matter with you?
Madre mía, no me queda la cordura ya, tío.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm.
No he visto
Did I
nada,
miss
o
something
sea,
more
no sé qué
interesting?
está pasando.
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
I ran, screamed, broke a pane of glass. You were in the next room and you didn't hear a thing.
If I hadn't heard a thing, I'd still be in the other room. The door was blocked. I got in as soon as I could. I like to look after my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
The creature. This dagger was the only weapon capable of pushing it back. If Hawkins was trying to get rid of this shambler, she might have made contact with Drake. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
La librería sin nombre. El vagabundo resulta ser mucho más que una simple pintura de Sarah Hawkins. Una criatura gigantesca sale del cuadro y ataca a Pierce. Tras una dura pelea, el detective consigue devolverla al interior de la pintura. Más tarde, descubre que la daga que utilizó para repeler a la criatura llegó a manos de Sanders a través de Algernon Drake, el propietario de la librería sin nombre. Pierce decide hacer una visita al librero.
Where is the bookseller?
Ya está.
An old diary.
Me jode porque debería encontrar diarios de la esposa del pastor y no estoy encontrando ninguno. Sería Darkwater.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the
Es un
same
libro
footing as a
profano.
religion.
No.
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 What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from?
A ver, un momentito.
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. This burglar seems to be rather clumsy. What killed all these animals?
No. Me raya porque ponía que aquí había algo y ahora no me lo marca.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
El libro,
Sarah
menudo.
Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Aquí parece haber una página oculta. Se puede leer. Si alguien encuentra estas memorias, no cabe duda de que tendré problemas. Mi única esperanza es que mi cuerpo y mis huesos siguen en este plano de la realidad y podrán ser recuperados y quemados. La urna funeraria habrá de ser entregada a mi señora madre, si conserva aún la lucidez. El siguiente mensaje es de crucial importancia. Si alguien lee estas líneas y demuestra una agudeza comparable a la mía, podrá aspirar a hacerse con mi más preciada posesión. Se encuentra en mi caja fuerte con la combinación repartida entre 3 cilindros escondidos donde se encuentran la vida y los estudios en el mundo griego. Cada cilindro está numerado a pesar de que, tal como afirma el famoso autor, el orden es el placer de la razón y el caos el deleite de la imaginación. En efecto, a despecho de mi predilección por el caos ordenado, debo reconocer que la razón prevalece al final. Si, por ventura, una persona, un genio más bien, llegara a elevarse a la altura de mi intelecto y encontrase la combinación de la caja, debo pedirle que confíe en su contenido a mi admirado colega, el profesor Armitage, de la Universidad de Miskatonic. Referencias. Ese contenido no es solo un vasto compendio de conocimiento, sino un arma demasiado peligrosa como para arriesgarse a que caiga en malas manos. Confío en que dicha persona sea capaz de apreciar en su justa medida el peligro que representa y sepa actuar en consecuencia. En cualquiera de los casos, yo no estaré allí para guiar sus pasos ni para sufrir las consecuencias de sus actos. A ver.
Is everyone on this island taking... What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
Llave del archivo de Rayleigh. Esta llave con el símbolo arcano es la única protección para tu psique. Tiene forma de medallón cilíndrico y cuelga de una gruesa cadena. Hace siglos que se grabaron en su centro la estrella y la rama cuyos propósitos es mantener la raya a la fuerza de los primigenios. Todo apunta a que fue Charles Hawkins quien se lo arrebató a su último propietario, un anticuario egipcio. En los recortes de prensa donde menciona el caso, la fecha del robo coincide con el último viaje de Hawkins al Cairo. Aún está por ver si conoce la naturaleza de la reliquia. Procura averiguarlo. ¡Ah, mamea! Medicina.
Arkham editions. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham editions. Arkham editions.
Arkham.
Never. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham edition. Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
No.
A strange amulet.
Hostia, ¿y esto?
I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
No, 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 no. El perro, esto es nuevo. Estoy quedando sin... Estoy quedando sin cordura, lentamente.
A kind of chalice. Things are not looking good. Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Había un fonógrafo, no me acuerdo dónde.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Deberías abrir este libro, pero bueno. No abras ahí.